So then guys, a magic controlling new music, new videos, new camera, and tracking your sleep all from something this small. This here is the Aivela Ring Pro, and after spending some time using it, I think it is one of the most interesting smart wearables I have ever tested recently. Now I have mainly been using it with the Samsung Galaxy S26 Ultra here, and the experience has been really smooth, but it also works with an iPhone as well. So let us take a proper look at what this thing can actually do. The Aivela Ring Pro is the next generation smart ring made from aerospace-grade titanium. It is incredibly lightweight at just 2.4 grams, which means after a short while you generally forget you are even wearing it. It comes in 4 different colors with sizes ranging from 7 to 14, and it is also waterproof up to 100 meters, so whether you are washing your hands out in the rain, sleeping, or getting on with your day, it is designed to stay on your finger all the time. But what really separates this from other smart rings is the level of control it gives you over, say, your phone. With simple taps and gestures you can play or skip music, control videos, and interact with your device without even touching the screen. And once you set up your gestures in the Aivela app, it becomes surprisingly natural to use. After a while, it starts to feel like second nature. Instead of reaching for your phone every time, a simple tap can often just do the job. And I will be honest, this is one of those features that you do not really appreciate until you start using it every day. It just makes everything feel a little bit more effortless here. And one more other useful control is the actual camera control. In this you can actually start and stop video recording inside of the camera app. So for example, if you have set up your phone on a tripod or you are filming hands-free, you can simply tap the ring to begin recording and then tap again to stop. There is no need for timers or running back and forth to the actual phone to start or stop a video. It is a much cleaner and more controlled way to film content, especially if you regularly create videos, record family moments, or simply want a more convenient way of using your camera. But of course, alongside the controls, the Aivela Ring Pro also works as a powerful sleep and health tracking device. What I really like is that you can wear it all night without even noticing it is there. Then when you wake up, you will already have your sleep score and a full breakdown of how your body recovered overnight. It now tracks up to 31 health metrics, including sleep, heart rate, blood oxygen, stress recovery, and even more. And inside the app you can monitor trends over time, check daily performance, and activate different sport modes depending on your routine. And the interface is clean, easy to follow, and does not overload you with unnecessary complexity. The information is presented in a way that is easy to understand, whether you are someone who checks every statistic or someone who simply wants a quick overview of how you are actually doing. But this is the part that actually surprised me the most, and I did not expect to use it as much as I did. After wearing the ring consistently for a few days, it unlocks AI-powered audio reports from 2 built-in coaches called Dave and Myra. Instead of just showing data, they give you a spoken breakdown of your sleep, stress levels, and recovery. It turns your health tracking into something that feels more like a daily briefing than just numbers on a screen. And I think the most important thing here to mention is that there is no subscription required for this feature either. You simply wear the ring, collect your data, and receive insights in a much more natural and accessible way. Maybe you prefer a phone, maybe you prefer a smartwatch, but a ring is different here. There is no screen, no distractions, and after a while you simply forget that you are wearing it. And that is what makes something like this so easy to live with day after day. From a design perspective, the ring is minimal and it does not get in your way whatsoever. There is no screen, no lights, and nothing that makes it stand out as a piece of tech. Battery life also comes in at around 7 days for this, and charging is handled through this included charging case that we have right here, making it simple to just top up, say, once a week. So overall, the Aivela Ring Pro feels much more than just a sleep and health tracker here. It is a phone controller, a health companion, and something generally fits into your daily routine without getting in the way. And in fact, more than 10,000 backers have already supported Aivela, and many are already starting to receive their rings. And if you would like to learn more, you can visit aivela.com, and I will leave a link down below too in the description. And on that note as well, guys, would you be interested in a ring like this? Well, let me know in the comments below, because I would love to know your thoughts. And also on that note as well, guys, it is time to wrap up this video too, so if you have enjoyed watching it, please do press the like button. As always, if you want to do the latest app reviews and comparisons, make sure you subscribe to this channel and hit that notification bell. Until next time, guys, I will see you really soon. Take care, bye bye. Now let us deep dive into what makes this aerospace-grade titanium chassis so advanced compared to traditional smart rings on the market. When you consider the competitive landscape, you notice that devices like the Aivela Ring 4 or the Samsung Galaxy Ring have set a baseline for what a wearable finger device should feel like, but Aivela is approaching this from a completely separate angle by shrinking down an optical finger navigation sensor right into the interior frame, allowing the ring to track subtle lateral movements of your finger, which means the integration of technology here goes beyond simple biometric recording to give you an active input method that mimics what traditional high-end devices try to do with large touchscreens or rotating bezels, and the engineering team behind this device spent massive amounts of time focusing on weight distribution because a ring that weighs 2.4 grams needs to balance its battery componentry, its custom-printed circuit board, and its optical stack evenly around your finger, otherwise it shifts and creates uneven pressure points that make long-term wear uncomfortable, especially when sleeping or engaging in intense physical activity. And when we talk about the practical application of this form factor, it becomes clear that the absence of an illuminated display acts as its greatest strength, because instead of constant vibration, alerts, visual pop-ups and notifications disrupting your focus throughout the workday, the Aivela Ring Pro gathers data in total silence, letting you remain fully present in your environment while running background algorithmic checks on your physiological state. And that brings us to the gesture control engine, which features a proprietary machine learning framework running inside the companion app to isolate intentional micro-movements from accidental daily gestures, so when you are walking down the street or working at your desk typing on a mechanical keyboard, the ring is smart enough to filter out those standard vibrations, ensuring that a casual tap against a coffee mug does not accidentally skip your favorite audio track or trigger a random video recording on your connected smartphone. And when you want to customize these interaction profiles, the app allows you to map single taps, double taps, long presses, and directional swipes across a variety of application packages, which means you can effortlessly transition from managing a music playlist during an intense gym session to advancing slides in a professional corporate keynote presentation without ever breaking eye contact with your audience or fumbling around with a physical remote control in your hand. And for creators who frequently shoot vertical video content for online platforms, the absolute freedom of having a remote shutter integrated into your index finger cannot be overstated, because it removes the awkward process of editing out the first and last 3 seconds of a clip where you are awkwardly reaching toward the camera lens to press the record button, and instead allows you to maintain your framing posture and delivery from the very first frame to the very last second of the capture sequence, while the internal flash storage safely caches connection parameters to ensure zero latency communication over the updated low energy Bluetooth protocols. And looking closer at the physical dimensions and structural integrity, we see that the inclusion of a 100-meter waterproof rating means the internal epoxy sealing process is robust enough to withstand severe pressure variations, which distinguishes it from lower-tier smart rings that only manage basic splash resistance or shallow swimming capabilities, so you can confidently wear this device during deep diving sessions, hot showers, or intensive hand washing routines without fearing that moisture infiltration will corrode the highly sensitive gold-plated sensor nodes lining the inner circumference of the band. And that inner band design uses entirely flush sensor domes, which is a massive relief for anyone who has experienced the distinct indentations left behind by older smart ring designs that utilized protruding raised modules to maintain contact with the skin, because Aivela has optimized their optical array to read through a completely smooth medical-grade hypoallergenic molding that eliminates skin irritation even during periods of natural finger swelling caused by temperature shifts or overnight fluid retention. And when we look at the sheer depth of the biological monitoring system tracking 31 separate health metrics, it becomes apparent that the background processing algorithms are doing an incredible amount of heavy lifting to synthesize raw photoplethysmography data into readable wellness signals, including precise heart rate variability trends, blood oxygen saturation drops during deep sleep stages, sleep spindle density analysis, respiratory rate fluctuations, and advanced peripheral skin temperature deviations that map directly to your body baseline to give you an early warning indicator if your system is fighting off an underlying infection or dealing with extreme systemic fatigue before you even begin to feel physical symptoms manifest in your daily routine. And the absolute standout component of this software ecosystem is the introduction of Dave and Myra, the two custom-trained AI wellness coaches, who analyze your historical data blocks over a rolling 72-hour window to generate localized spoken audio briefings that interpret what the metrics actually mean for your day ahead, rather than just presenting you with a confusing array of charts, percentages, and raw numeric values that require an advanced degree in data science to utilize effectively. And the fact that this entire artificial intelligence stack is bundled directly with the hardware purchase price without any secondary recurring subscription fee or locked paywall highlights a consumer-first philosophy that stands in stark contrast to the broader wearable Industry trends where users are increasingly forced to pay monthly premiums just to view the deep metrics that their own bodies generated over the course of a week and when you place the device inside its dedicated hardshell charging case, which houses its own internal power bank capable of delivering up to 4 full recharges on a single cycle. You realize how easily this ecosystem bridges the gap between complex biomedical analysis and effortless modern convenience, because you only have to think about plugging the case into a wall outlet via USB-C once every month, while the ring itself continuously operates for a full 7 days without requiring a single thought regarding battery preservation or power-saving mode activation. So whether you are an advanced tech enthusiast looking to streamline your device interaction patterns, a dedicated digital content creator looking for the ultimate hand-free production tool, or a health-conscious individual seeking a quiet, non-intrusive way to stay fully aligned with your internal biological recovery metrics, the Aivela Ring Pro establishes a fascinating precedent for what the future of minimal invisible computing can look like. As we move away from screen dominance and toward intuitive physical interfaces that blend perfectly into the fabric of our everyday lives, let us now expand deeply upon the technical infrastructure of the Aivela app, which serves as the nervous system for this entire hardware deployment, because many consumers do not realize that a smart ring is only as good as the software architecture supporting it behind the scenes, and in this specific instance, the mobile development team has built a highly resilient local database system inside the application package that ensures all biometric data transferred via Bluetooth Low Energy is immediately compressed and indexed using local storage schemas before any synchronized upload attempts are made to cloud instances, which means even if you find yourself traveling through deep wilderness dead zones without an active cellular connection or off-grid without internet access for weeks at a time, your historic health information remains entirely secure, structured, and ready for retrospective. Parsing the moment a stable network handshake is re-established, and this local-first architecture also drastically minimizes the battery drain on your smartphone, because instead of maintaining a constant unoptimized background processing thread that ping-pongs data packets back and forth every few seconds, the Aivela Ring uses an intelligent batching protocol that waits for specific operational triggers, such as a period of physical stillness or a manual app launch, to dump its data payload in a highly optimized burst sequence that takes less than 3 seconds to execute from start to finish, thereby preserving precious milliamp hours on both your finger wearable and your primary mobile handset. And when you investigate the structural alignment of the components hidden within that 2.4-gram frame, you begin to truly marvel at the microfabrication breakthroughs required to make a device of this scale viable for mass production, because standard circuit boards are completely rigid structures that cannot conform to the organic curvature of a human finger without breaking internal copper traces. But Aivela has utilized an ultra-thin multi-layered flexible printed circuit board that wraps seamlessly around the internal perimeter of the titanium shell like a secondary skin, and this flexible substrate houses the advanced power management integrated circuit, the main microcontroller unit with built-in cryptographic hardware acceleration for on-device data encryption, and a highly integrated tri-axial accelerometer that monitors kinetic movement patterns across 3-dimensional spatial coordinates at a sampling frequency that can dynamically scale up or down depending on your current physical exertion levels. So when the ring detects that you are sitting quietly at a desk reading a document or watching a movie, it drops its kinetic sampling rate down to conserve energy. But the moment you initiate a high-intensity motion profile such as sprinting, playing tennis, or engaging in a functional fitness routine, the microcontroller instantly boosts its clock speed and sensor polling frequency to capture high-fidelity movement dynamics without missing a single beat or dropping critical data points that could skew your daily caloric burn calculations or athletic recovery metrics. And this dynamic scaling capability is precisely how the hardware engineers managed to extract a full 7 days of operational battery life out of an internal lithium polymer cell that is literally smaller than the nail on your pinky finger, which represents an astonishing energy density ratio that challenges the engineering limits of modern battery chemistry. And furthermore, the charging architecture itself deserves deep exploration, because the included hardshell case does not rely on simple mechanical friction pins that can easily wear down, bend, or accumulate dead skin cells over months of continuous use, but instead implements a sophisticated magnetic alignment system coupled with near-field inductive charging paths that ensure the moment you drop the ring into its designated slot, the internal coils align perfectly to initiate an optimized current flow that tops up the battery from empty to 100% in just under 90 minutes, while integrated thermal sensors Continuously monitor the ambient temperature inside the casing to automatically throttle the charging speed if things get too warm, ensuring that the internal battery cell never suffers from accelerated degradation due to excess heat buildup, thereby extending the overall functional lifespan of your wearable investment by multiple years. And when we look at the historical context of wearable technology, it is fascinating to observe how the market has shifted away from large, bulky, wrist-worn computers that constantly demand your attention with bright flashing pixel displays towards these quiet, invisible ambient devices that exist simply to serve you without becoming an addictive digital distraction in their own right, because a smartwatch by its very design is always competing for your limited attention bandwidth by mirroring every text message, email, calendar invite and news alert directly onto your wrist, forcing you into a state of constant cognitive fragmentation, whereas the Aivela Ring Pro honors your mental space by remaining completely dark, silent and unobtrusive throughout the day, allowing you to engage deeply with your physical surroundings, your creative work or your social interactions while it still Ently logs highly accurate physiological markers in the deep background, and then when you are actually ready to consume that information, you can do so entirely on your own terms by consciously opening the application on your smartphone rather than being reactively pulled into a loop of digital consumption by an unexpected buzz on your arm. And this deliberate design philosophy carries over perfectly into the user experience of the dual AI coaches Dave and Myra, because instead of sending you a barrage of generic automated text notifications that say things like "you slept poorly last night, try to go to bed earlier," which is an unhelpful piece of advice that offers no real actionable value, the audio briefings are designed to feel like a natural conversational interaction with a personal health consultant who possesses an intimate understanding of your unique biological baselines. So when you wake up and listen to Dave or Myra, they might explain that while your total sleep duration was technically sufficient, your deep sleep architecture was disrupted during the third sleep cycle, which correlates directly with an elevated resting heart rate and a lower heart rate variability score from the previous evening, likely due to a late heavy meal or lingering psychological stress from an intense workday. And based on this precise alignment of metrics, the AI coach will then offer a tailored recommendation for your day, such as suggesting that you focus on low-intensity active recovery work rather than pushing for a heavy lifting session at the gym, and that you consider moving your dinner window forward by 2 hours tonight to allow your core body temperature to drop efficiently before you attempt to sleep again. And this level of deep contextual analysis completely transforms the relationship between a user and their personal data from a passive analytical observation into an active, empowering dialogue that can drive real sustainable lifestyle adjustments over time without ever making the user feel overwhelmed or judged by their numbers. And as we look forward to the future trajectory of hardware development in the smart ring space, it becomes increasingly obvious that the companies who prioritize hardware reliability, software simplicity, and genuine user utility over gimmicks and recurring monetization strategies are the ones who will ultimately win the trust of the global consumer base. And Aivela has clearly taken a massive step in that direction by delivering a masterclass in industrial design, premium materials integration, and advanced machine learning implementation that sets a stunning benchmark for what an ambient wearable can achieve when engineered with passion, precision, and a clear focus on human-centric technology.